So one of the, we have released the RFP for the state respite grant. That was on April 17th. We tried to do a few different things with it this year, one of which is extending the time that you have for your grant period. So we've pretty much added another, like a whole month. So that's one of the things. The other thing that just to keep in mind during the grant period is, or during this presentation, is that we are considering, if it works for your organization, letting you, instead of just having the 2 payments, to be able to do it monthly, so that that can help fund your the grant or your program easier for you. Because I know that for some organizations, it's a bit of a burden to have only the 2 payments halfway and at the end. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. Okay. Come on, there we go. So this is the first of 2 respite grant Q&A sessions. So the key grant dates, all the applications are due May 26th, and that is through our submittable site, which you can access on the Colorado Respite website under grant opportunities, and I will have the link, and you may have already downloaded the application. We anticipate to award the notify you of the award, second half of June. That's what we're hoping for. And then, like I said, the grant period is July 1 through June 1, 2024. And then the final grant report will be June 15th, 2024. So the request for proposal, the purpose of the request, I'm just going to read off the application. To respond to the growing respite care needs of Colorado's family caregivers, Easter Seals Colorado is seeking applications from qualified entities currently providing respite services. Let's see. This grant program supports services across the lifespan and health and disability spectrums and serves the entire state of Colorado. This grant program is funded through Colorado State General Funds and is managed by Easter Seals Colorado and the Colorado Department of Human Services State Unit on Aging. The intent of these funds is to increase access to respite care options for family caregivers and to help agencies build the capacity to provide additional services. All funds are specified to be used to support families as a payer of last resort. That is, families who do not actively receive respite allocations through Medicaid waivers or other funds. Grant applicants must define how your agency will determine the populations most in need within its application. We also, Colorado Respite Coalition also has the family voucher program, and agencies can participate in both, but we ask that you cannot serve families at the same time. So on the, I hope everyone can hear me. On the applicant eligibility, there is a checklist on here. It's all included, but most importantly, you must be currently providing respite services. This grant is not for new programs. And all services must be in the state of Colorado to Colorado families. You must comply with the fingerprint based, so the CAPS check if you're adults at risk. you must carry or add the policy during the grant period, and Eastern Seals, Colorado must review and verify prior to service provision. You must be registered of application. And if you don't know where to do that, we can do that, help you find that and get you registered. You must understand that funds are specified to provide respite services at low or no cost to families. And if you do have a small fee to charge, that you just include that in your application, or if you prove that through us prior to doing so. And then funds cannot, under any circumstances, be used for food or beverage. Another thing that's not on here that I wanted to talk about is that we have lowered the highest level that we're going to award. So it was at $35,000. We're going to put it at $30,000 in an effort to help more agencies throughout the state with what we are given through the state. The grant term, again, July 1st to June 2024. And let's see, I'm going to talk about the questions. The questions are, if you've applied before, there's no change in the questions. So there's 6 questions for a total of 100 points. And then there's the last question is question number 7. That is based on programs that run in frontier and rural counties. So you get 5 bonus points for doing that, for being in those areas. And then if you're confused or need more information about if your county is rural or frontier, we have a list, and all of this information is from the Colorado Rural Health Center. And then I also included a map in the packet. So one of the, another thing that's important to know is the respite summary form. This is just kind of a quick sheet so that I know who to contact right away, so I don't have to dig through everything. And then it defines your, you know, what your populations are, where your programs are located, how many clients you have, how many people are on your wait list, that kind of thing. I've also added an organizational contact. So generally there's the grant contact and then the executive director. But what I'm looking for here is a day-to-day person that would be managing the grant. And then let's see. And then also the budget narrative is included as well. And that's just a real simple, what are you going to be using these funds for? And so we have a 13% overhead that you can take, or in-kind leverage is a separate section. Okay. So I'm just going to read this fingerprint background checks. This is something that comes up every year, but it's in a statute that funds this program or this grant. And so it is required. So the statute says requires state-funded contracting agencies that employ persons to serve in positions that involve direct contact with vulnerable persons in the homes and residences of such vulnerable persons to complete fingerprint-based background checks of such employees and volunteers through the Colorado Bureau of Investigation or another background check system that provides information at the same level of detail or higher than a CBI records check. And then I ask that we will not collect those reports from you, that the agency maintains your own records and reviews them. And then the CAPS check are required for staff and volunteers who provide direct care for at-risk adults as required. Okay, so reporting requirements. So we have this requirement, obviously, so that we can gather data through our online survey. we just ask that you complete one of these. We don't really need the name of the family any longer, unless that has changed, Amy. I think that's what the state would prefer. What we can do is say family number 1, family number 2, family number 3, that kind of thing. But it does need to be approved by a family member or the caregiver, and it signed. So the final report that you would be submitting to us on June 15th next year. Hopefully in your application, you have outcomes that you want to meet, and that is going to be in the narrative question, and it does ask you, there are examples in there. And then a summary, I just need a summary of the total number of respite hours provided and the number of families served. That's how we'll bill it to CDHS. And then because I am extending the deadline from, by a month, everything needs to be to me by June 15th so that I have enough time to make my report. Again, reminders, funds are to be used to provide low or no cost respite services to families. These funds are a payer of last resort for families. If families have access to other respite funds such as Medicaid or VA or Medicare, they likely do not qualify. If they have, run out of those benefits, then they would be eligible. You just can't have obviously 2 sources of funding at the same time. Funds can never be used for any food or beverage, and the applications are for existing programs only. And that's it. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. Well, thank you. If you have trouble accessing the application, please let us know. It's you can find it through our website, and I think it's been shared with everybody, but it's ColoradoRespiteCoalition.org, and then it's under our programs and grant opportunities, and then you scroll down and there's a PDF that you can download, and then you would want to use that submittable button. That's our third-party website that holds all of our applications. So, okay. I don't see any questions. Thank you.
Looks like Erin just put in the chat just the link to the to the application. And okay. when are they due again? It's May
26th.
May 26th.
Friday. Yeah.
Okay.
Right so before Memorial Day, and then everyone can just relax.
Yeah. So everyone's got a month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, please, contact Erin or me, and be more than happy, and Amy as well, if you want to ask questions of Amy. Sorry, I shouldn't put you out there like that.
No, that's okay. Although I will say, if we do get questions from someone, we should, find a way to publish the answers to those questions to everybody.
Yeah,
just to make sure that everyone's on even footing. So if you do ask a question, then it may be transmitted to everyone that we think is going to be interested in this process, so that we just make sure that it's fair.
Yeah, and the other thing is there are frequently asked questions in the same section of the website, and they include everything that I talked about. So that's it. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop recording, and have a wonderful day.